Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
So, all right, was it really brutal being at Yale Drama School?
The hours were hard. The routine of it is hard, and our class was not extremely close. So some of it was extremely hard. It was brutal. I'm trying to make it sound
right.
It's hard, and I think also the great gift and the great problem of training at the best drama school in the world is you're operating under this terrific pressure. Like, here I am at the Yale School of Drama, right? Like, I played Richard II. That was my final role. And I was like,
wow.
But it wasn't just, how can I play Richard II? I think the pressure was like, how can I play Richard II at the Yale School of Drama?
Right.
And so and the training is so good, but it's so intense that I feel bad for drama school students, because you're trying to manage your speech training, your voice training, your acting training, your body training, right? We do this thing called Alexander techniques.
Yes, I did that. Yes.
Fine aligned. You're trying to manage too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's very overwhelming, and you want to be the best because you're at Yale. You want to be the best actor in the world. But I think proudly, one of the great things about Yale being outside of the city is that it's an incubator. So I think I did some of the worst acting of my life at Yale. And that's why I went.
But did you feel safe?
Totally.
Failing or not failing, but you know what I mean?
No, I failed a lot, and I felt extremely safe. But the pressure it's not the institution. It's
right.
in the institution being like, I've made it this far.
How do I stand out? How do I...
Self-criticism,
Right.
I was more critical of myself at Yale than I ever was outside of Yale. Post Yale. I don't put myself under that same pressure.
Right.
Of being.
So it really does prepare you for, because I read that you say that you're neurotic and anxious.
But
join the club. But it's like,
yeah,
just talking about it with you, I feel like, oh my God. Would you be able to share who was in your Yale class with?
Oh, yeah. One of the best actors alive. My friend Winston Duke was in my class.
Yep. He's
incredible. He's a scene stealer galore. And we were always paired he's like 6'4" or 5", this huge, gorgeous, amazing, like Trinidadian, this dark skinned Black beauty. And me, I'm like invisible. I'm clear. I'm ghost. And I'm 5'2" and like 90 pounds. So that our the casting, the chairs that did the casting at Yale they had a ball. They always put us together as a couple.
I love that. Do they keep everyone for the whole time, or do they?
It is not a cut program.
That's so good.
So healthy. I mean, what the fuck? I hope cut programs, I hope they don't exist anymore.
Yeah. It also makes you so like emotionally cutthroat when you're in the business. Like, you're always gonna have that edge of like, oh my God, it's not good. It's not a good way to learn, thinking you're gonna be fucking cut,
Terrible. I think it creates like monsters, and it creates people who behave really badly.
As someone who always knew that you were going to do theater, sitting in that class, I knew this with my grandfather. I knew I was going to do this. You get out of school and you work immediately. Now, you did pay it forward with Kevin Spacey and Haley Joel Osment.
When I was 11, yeah.
So you were working before, you got to this Yale. And so were there people at Yale that never had, done any theater at all? Or were you like in a different sort of, here I am, I know how to work, I know how the business works, No,
I don't think I was, because I was also fresh out of undergrad. And
right.
I double majored in theater and Soviet and post-Soviet studies, because I don't know, I just.
Okay, that is so fucking hot. I can't even fucking deal with it. Hannah, I know that Molly's mom said that, oh, she likes you, but now I'm going to reverse it and be like, wow. Okay.
Hannah likes that. It's but I did that, Judy, because like I knew that I've always known that I was going to do this for a living. It's like the great love of my life, and I happen to be good at it. So
Right. It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
it's okay. Like I just
Right.
it's okay that this is what I want to do and that I love it and that I get hired for jobs. But so in undergrad, I really wanted to do things that had nothing to do with acting. So I studied, I took so many classes in
I
neuroscience.
love that. You
classes.
did?
Oh my God. Yes. I ended up falling in love with neuroscience. It was my absolute favorite.
You could be like, what's her name? Mayim Bialik.
No.
She's a fucking doctor. She's a fucking neuroscientist.
Oh, I had no.
Yes. She is a fucking neuroscientist. And you know, what's her name? Danica Keller, whatever, who was on The Wonder Years.
Right.
She's like a math PhD and like these, it's fucking
Amazing.
The fact that your brain can do both of those things, like that is really amazing that both of your sides of your brain work that well.
Well, I'm terrible at math. That's why I took neuroscience. It was to get my math credit because I didn't want to take any real mathy classes. But
wow.
I ended up falling in love with understanding psychology on like a neurochemical level.
Right. Here's something that you'll love, you and Hannah will love, that my younger son, Ben, who is 6'8" and plays Division I basketball, loves psychology. He wants to be a I mean, like he loves it. He took educational like, so that's what you're going to give to your children, to your grown boy. I've heard you talk about chosen family versus birth family, which I want to cry because, you know, as an old gay, to try to have someone your age really get that concept is just so beautiful because it really is true. Like, you know, my girlfriend, Elisa, who I love, she's my fiance.
Congrats.
She's so, oh, please, it's been 14 years. She is so attached to her family. Like that is number one. Like there's this sort of like, you're in the family or you're not in the family. And my relationships with people outside of my birth family are so intense that I think sometimes people who have this fucking amazing birth family don't get that. No, this is my heart and soul. So it's like, you're so fucking an old soul. I can't take it.
I'm ancient. Are you kidding? I'm literally ancient. And since I was little, I've always known. I remember saying to my grandparents when I was really little, I said, well, Molly's a great name now, and it's going to be great when I'm Grandma Molly or Bubby Molly. But what does a Molly do as like a 20-something or middle-aged Molly? And my grandparents were like, what? And I was like, well, I am, you know, I'm old. I'm an old soul. Like, okay, I think you'll be fine. You just do exactly what you're doing now until you get old and you'll be ready. And I feel like when I hit that part, when I join AARP, I'm going to be like, here I am.
You're going to be on the fucking cover.
I have been waiting all my life for this.
I love that. All right. So you get younger right away and you go on this audition and it's 6 lines and Darren stars there. And you thought initially it was just for the pilot and it ends up becoming a bigger role. But the funniest part is that I love that reading this, that you had to look at Kathy Najimy's Bush, right? Is this right? Sutton Foster. I'm sorry. Sutton Foster's Bush. And you were like disgusted. And Darren was like, maybe he gave you a little adjustment.
He did. It was amazing. He was like, so I see that you're playing, you know, kind of grossed out, and that's a choice. I think this character, can you play it with a little more wonder? And I was like, yes, I can. And that was so informative. I mean, how lucky that I had a callback with Darren Star for a 6-line guest star and one scene in the pilot that ended up going for 7 years. I mean, it is insane, but it was Bashir in some ways because it helped me. That is the lens that I played this character with for 7 years, where my instinct would be to play it with a little bit of judgment. I just would always make sure in that moment to adjust it to wonder. And
Right.
it fundamentally made her, I think, this like cult favorite. And she was like the first of its kind character on TV. She was, a pansexual best. She's basically the gay best friend, but she's not.
Right.
She's also like, she's not tokenized for her sexuality, and she's a problem solver, and she's a self-loving, she's obsessed with herself.
Right.
And she's a good friend. Like she's an anomaly. And I feel
Right.
I did that with Darren's guidance. If you're actually listening, you can really like that one word, just do it with wonder.
That rarely happens. It's like next. The fact that he took that, he said, I'm going to give her a note. It was the simplest thing in, when you think about it, but it wasn't. And like, I wish more directors and creators would do that with actors instead of being like, nah. So you play Lauren Heller, who's a Jew. And she is pansexual. And you also describe yourself. Do you describe yourself as pansexual?
I don't know. I'm queer. I don't know what I am.
I describe myself as bedpan sexual. Good night, everybody. I do a bit in my act. I was dying to talk to you about this. I do a bit in my act because, we started out as LGB, then we became LGBT, which much better. And then once we added the Q, we opened the Pandora's box.
PK plus community.
Yes. I totally get it. And then there's a little bit of Archie Bunker in me of like, okay, just hear me out on this. I feel like my generation, we did go through a plague, but I feel like the way we approached it was, okay, this is the world. We're going to be in the world and we're going to teach you why we are equal to you and deserve to live with dignity, and I feel like sometimes, not you, but like 20-year-olds are like, nope, you can't say that. Nope, you can't do that. Nope. And it's like, no, I have lived on this earth and I'm allowed to talk about that because that was my experience. And I feel like a lot of these, maybe it's the gender stuff, but it's so specific. And I feel like we're all fluid. And I'm not trying to be closed-minded, but I feel like it's equivalent to getting a tattoo when you're 18. And you're then, in 10 years, you're like, why the fuck did I get that tattoo? So I feel like sometimes people are managing their identities, not sexuality more, but does that make any sense to you? Like,
it does make sense. And I feel like, the queer community is like undergoing a change, which I actually think is good.
yeah.
And part of it is, not to get too heady, but I think part of it is like language is oppressive, and language, especially the English language, can only go so far and do so much in terms of describing how you want to identify.
Right.
So that I get. I feel like I wish there was a safe space for people to both fuck it up, learn how to get it right, and like within families, right? I think that would be most interesting to me, if like families that include folks that are like struggling with their gender identity and their gender performance and their sexuality, if they could all sit down and be like, listen, here's what scares me about, me. Let's say I want to transition. Here's what scares me about doing that. I'm afraid if I'm transitioning, F to M, I'm afraid you're going to misgender me, and I'm afraid that's really going to hurt. And here's
right.
why, right? Here's why it will hurt. Or, my partner, for example, I'll just give a very concrete example. My partner is gender nonconforming. She uses she, her pronouns. But when her nephew was born, I remember it was a little painful. He's only, I think, 4 now. I remember it being a little painful for her that everyone in her family, and not even in her family, just people who met the baby boy, were immediately socializing him as
I am the same as she is. I am exactly the same. I think gender reveal parties are the most disgusting.
Agreed. I just don't do it. Like you don't need to do
Right.
it. For example, here's the thing. Like I don't want to, if we will probably have a son because we're lesbians or because, we're 2 women. I do not want to have a bris, even though I'm Jewish. I don't want to have a bris because I actually don't want to have a party where we celebrate the patriarchy and we celebrate circumcising the boy. Let's just
you have to go to, have you heard of the lap shul?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. My friend goes there and her daughter had a B mitzvah and her son had a B mitzvah, and they don't do the patriarchy. And her father's Orthodox and he started going, I'm a Kohen. And they were like, okay, take care. It's so weird because, Demi Lovato just came out as they, them. And I used to be like, what's going on? Like, and there's so many women my age, I'm 58. And there's so many moms and we're all I'm a gay, and I realized as I was thinking this morning, I wish I could have been, because I was a they, them. Like I sort of am half and half, and I won't wear women's shoes anymore. Like I'm just done, and it was like, I feel so, I guess it's this weird thing where I feel like so grateful. I'm happy that they have that and maybe a little jealous that I had to grow up in this boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, and never fit in. And I'm always misgendered because I'm 6'2", or I was 6'3", but I'm 6'2" now.
I didn't know you were that tall.
Yeah. And so I've always been misgendered, like always. And it really pisses me off because they don't look at my face. I mean, I just had eye surgery on Wednesday and I was laying on the gurney and the anesthesiologist came in and called me sir. And I was like, really? And then he looked at my thing and he looked at my name. He said, oh, she. And then I thought, and I'm getting so, and I'm like, you don't know if I'm a she, like you looked at my name. Like I'm really getting, maybe there's a little bit of jealousy, but it's definitely, there's this thing, and you definitely don't have it, that I want to say, without us, you wouldn't be able to do this, like without what we went through. And I feel like so many kids don't, like, they're like, you're an old fucking dyke and you're this and that. And it's like, no, I actually fought so you could be who you are.
I'm not like that, Judy, because my chosen parents, my chosen family, my moms are old gays.
Right.
Then they were deep in those fights. They were not casually being old gays. They were not casually being young gays being gay. They were fighting for the rights that myself and my partner now have. So they are my heroes, my moms. And I think we're going to have to be very careful, especially the generation younger than mine. I'm a millennial, I guess, but the baby generation under me, they need to know. I'm going to have to work hard, and my peers will have to work hard to make sure that they understand what it cost the community to get where it is now.
Do you follow the AIDS Memorial on Instagram?
I do.
Every morning I check that. It's just a reminder of like what we lost. And so you're so I love you. Can you tell, first of all, you were dating guys, whatever, it doesn't matter. You meet Hannah Banana. Okay. Now, were you shocked? I know you're open and, are you shocked at yourself that you are going to spend your life with a she, her?
Maybe. I don't know. She's my person. And ever since I was little, I always knew that I will marry whoever I want to marry. But I knew that if I was going to marry a man, I would probably go through a few marriages.
Right.
So it was not, on the one hand, I think I'm so relieved that I don't have to deal with a man for the rest of my life. And Hannah is just this exquisite, she's just amazing. And I cannot believe that she puts up with me and that I met her and that I was allowed by whatever spiritual force or the universe.
It's Joe and Bina looking over you.
It must be, because I think I really truly never believed that I would find that. I didn't believe I was deserving of a love like this. I think a lot of people in my life were surprised that, because I chased Hannah. I met her at my friend and I hosted this Fire and Fury, like salon style wine and cheese night where we read the first 3 chapters and we each invited 6 people. And
oh my God, that's so great.
Yeah. And my friend Ariel invited Hannah. They went to Jewish day school together. And I invited, my weird, loud theater friends. And I just was like, I couldn't stop talking to her. I couldn't stop looking at her.
It's so great.
Just was like, this person is amazing. And then we went on this date.
Was it reciprocated?
She, I think, absolutely had no idea that I was queer. Even though I was leaning in hard, but I walked her outside and I showed off. I took Henry, my dog, downstairs, and he's really good at peeing off leash. So I didn't bring a leash, and I was like, this is how good of a dog mom I am. And I, at the end of the night, as she was walking away from the building, I was like, yeah, so I'm just wondering if you have one, if I could if I could have your phone number. I was like, sure, yeah. And it just ended up being the best first date of my life. And the second date was the best. It was just, I was floating. I was high. I was essentially I was on drugs for the first 8 months of our relationship.
I remember when I met Elisa and in the beginning, and I couldn't sleep because I was like, oh my God. Like I'm laying in bed, like, oh my God, I can't believe it's so exciting when you meet the right person, even though I want to kill her right now. But so many people never get that ever. Mm-hmm. I am so Kinsey 6. It's so weird because I love men. I love my sons, and I have so many straight guy friends. I've always loved hanging around with the guys. I have no desire to be near that thing. I don't want it in me. I don't want it near my face. I don't want it near my ass. I just don't even, gross.
I don't want it near my ass. I don't know. This is where you and I are a little different. And I think maybe I am honestly pansexual. I'm definitely maybe bisexual, but I don't need to sleep with people in the binary either.
Right.
Judy, maybe I am pansexual. I just feel like this is why I choose to identify as queer, because I love Hannah and Hannah is my person, but I don't identify as a queer woman who's I hated having sex with men when I was sleeping.
Right.
I like sex. I like love.
That's so fascinating to me, because I had a boyfriend in college because we thought my generation was it's so weird. You thought, well, let me try it to make sure. I have to make sure because I can't live like that. It's going to be such a hard life. But we all you kept trying and trying. And I felt like I was being assaulted. It was so unnatural, and it wasn't his fault because he wasn't assaulting me, but I was just and I hated it. So that's why I think I'm a Kinsey 6, but it's just, it's fascinating because my generation also didn't believe bisexuals were really, it was you're gay, but we've evolved so much. And it's because of people like you. Now, what your moms, when you met Hannah Banana, were they surprised? Were they excited?
You can see my face. I have to I have to act it out for you. I was like, guys, I just went on the best date of my life with this woman, Hannah. And as it got I think maybe date 2 or 3, it was so clear. When I'm going to fall in love, I know right away. I know before I fall. It's happened just a couple times in my life. And I know. And I knew that I was my world was totally flopped upside down. And my moms, I'll never forget. They were like, oh, Hannah, great. Yeah. Do you want to tell us about her? They were really trying to play it cool, and
Right.
they are not performers.
Right.
Not doing a good job at hiding. They were basically like, I could see fireworks going on.
Right. Like, yay!
They
Yeah.
were fucking pumped. And I was like, I called them out. I was like, it's okay. Just like,
Yeah.
you can like jump up and down a little bit. It's okay.
And then they met Hannah Banana and they fell in love with her.
They're besotted.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Honestly, me too. And I'm such a fucking anxious and
oh, please.
Such an anxious mess that I'm always like, oh, I'm so happy that I'm, I think it's just part of my hard wiring is like, when is the other shoe going to drop?
Oh my God. Join El Club Jew. I have two last questions, but I swear to God, I could talk to you forever. You're so fascinating. And your Bina ran Robert Kennedy's presidential campaign in LA.
Yes. And my grandparents were there at the Ambassador Hotel.
No fucking way.
Yes.
Did they ever talk about it?
Yes. And luckily my grandfather wrote a book that I'm actually working to edit. I might also do something, I don't know, where I like annotate it and I publish it as By Both of Us or something, but
right.
He does tell the story in that book. His book is mainly about his life as an actor and as an acting teacher, but there is the bit where Bina was running Bobby's campaign in LA. But I have amazing buttons. I have an RFK button.
That's
I have these amazing telegrams from Bobby Kennedy to my
no way.
Incredible, from Western Union, meet at the Ambassador Hotel. It's so crazy.
What a major loss that wow.
Listen, that whole decade was just it was too much.
I know, too much. And look at us now. Look at the fucking dumb shits we are now. We're full of dumb people.
It's dummies, dum-dums walking around dumbing.
And they have this, they can vote, these dumb fucks.
The dumbs can vote. The dumbs
right.
vote in 2016. Sorry.
Yeah, it's bad. Okay, so, you didn't mention Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, Lupita was the year above me at Yale.
Okay, fuck this article that you graduated together. I can't.
No. She was 1 year, but I mean, we spent a lot of time together, but we were not classmates as such.
Right, okay, whatever. First of all, I'm so happy for you that you found Hannah Banana and that she's a good lawyer and she's adorable and you're beyond beautiful. These are my two questions I ask every podcast guest. Number one, we're pro mental health. I suffer from depression, anxiety. Like, I can't even tell you, I'm on 8,000 meds. What do you do for your mental health?
Oh, Judy, I love that you talk about this on your podcast. Mental health is like one of the great passions in my life. The reason, I don't talk about my childhood because I had a really fucked up childhood, and I'm private about it because I don't know that I'm ready to share all of that. But I'm definitely ready to share that I see a therapist who specializes in PTSD twice a week. I'm on 15 milligrams of Prozac. I love therapy. I love that, there are psychopharmaceuticals that help provide a floor. So I am.
Do you like the Prozac? I've been on everything. I was on the Prozac and I forgot why I had to stop. Did I get fat? I forgot why, but yeah, I'm on the Wellbutrin.
Okay.
And the Luvox.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Luvoxamine. And it's an SSRI. And I take a Deplin, which is a like something that helps your brain use the I don't know. I've been on, but thank God for pharmaceutical.
They are, listen, big pharma sucks. And so like, I don't actually take Prozac. I take
Prozac. Same.
Prozac actually uses prison labor. So, and I'm an abolitionist, so I won't be using anything. Mm-hmm. I won't be using anything where they're using prison labor for a profit. Any hoozlebees. I'm essentially on a child's dose of Prozac because I know this is so weird, and my psychiatrist thinks he likes me, but I do think he thinks I'm a little cuckoo. I always say I'd prefer to be a little bit under medicated than, like, I still I like having bad days because
Right.
they differentiate from the rest of the days. And I don't mind the occasional anxious rut or depressive rut. I now have the skills because of my brilliant therapist
Right.
work my way out of that. And I because I'm an actress, I like to have access
To that. Yeah.
all of I like to have access to my full emotional life, as it were.
Yeah. It's so interesting because when I first went on meds in my 30s, I was like, I'm not going to be funny anymore. But I just wasn't as anxious. And now I'm on my meds and I'm in a really stressful time of my life. And it's like, yeah, I'm on the meds. It's probably be worse if I wasn't on the meds, but I have feelings, like I'm still, so yeah, I totally get with you don't want the.
I have to tell you, I was on Lexapro a couple of years ago, and that did start to happen. It was very efficacious for about 2.5 years. And then I was on set and I was having a hard time remembering my lines.
Yeah.
Called my doctor and I was like, and I was on the lowest dose possible. So I wasn't even on
Right.
crazy. And he was like, it's time to get off. And I was like, yes, it made me so sad. I was like, what is going on? I just felt like, the efficacy wears off. You're not supposed to do forever. You can switch, you can take breaks. I always like to try to take a medication vacation, but I'm not there yet.
I'm too afraid. I'm so afraid. I've tried.
I have a good, both psychiatrist and therapist.
Yeah.
Be able to take a tiny vacation.
Yeah. Okay. And we call the podcast Kill Me Now because as my mother's daughter, every day I get aggravated over something ridiculous and I'm like, kill me now. I can't take it. So what pisses you off and makes you so fucking crazy angry?
So many things. Henry, my beloved child, my son, dog, my 7-year-old dog, he's 7 pounds. When he barks, I literally threaten to call the ASPCA on myself. I'm like, Henry, no, kill me. I'm going to kill you. I mean, I do about a 9-minute monologue when he has a bark fit. To no one, to everyone around, it doesn't matter. It's the barking.
But do you think is it the shock of the bark or is it, because I get jolted?
Pitch. No, it's not the shock. It's that there's a pitch, there's a slight howl in the bark. There's he is my first son. I did make some mistakes. So he has some of my trauma in there and I hear it and I'm like, kill me now.
But I love that you relate to it. I love that you're like,
oh, it's like my pain and his bark. And I'm like, I can't take it. I refuse to handle this. No.
I love it. This was such a treat. I can't, you're just fucking great. You're just going to be such a force of your generation. I'm telling you.
No. I don't know what my generation is right now.
All I know is that you are, we need more like you, but there aren't that many. So, yeah, I love it. I read that you want parts that scare the shit out of you. I just love that there's not many people like you that want to fucking challenge and are open and self-aware. It's just fucking beautiful and gorgeous.
That's extremely fucking nice. I feel like, let's talk every day.
Okay, I'm in. I just wish you all the best. I hope one day, I would love to work with you one day, like anything. You're just the best.
This has been so fun. Thank you for having me. I'm like, it's rare, when you meet someone in your tribe, about even not including, our tribe, but when you tribe, you get it, you see it.
Yeah, you're the best. Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with the one and only Molly K. Bernard, who is my new best friend. Okay? We are BFFs. Anyway, Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. This podcast would not be possible, nor would my life be possible without the help of Brittany Jo Sowards. If you like the show, make sure to subscribe. Please leave a review. Please. Come on. Other people have so many fucking reviews, and I don't have as many as I would like, and I've been doing this for a long time. So review, subscribe, 5 stars, buy my book.
Yes, I can say that when they come for the comedians. We're all in trouble. Watch Hysterical on FX, on Hulu. It's on Hulu. It's really good if you want to know what it's like to be a female comedian. What else? Go to my website, judygold.com, and it'll tell you everywhere I'm performing, everything I'm doing, which is not a lot. But I will be performing all summer in Provincetown, Massachusetts, as usual, because I fucking love it here. And, it'll have my other dates on there because I am traveling around a little bit. So follow me at Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD, like Jew, because I'm a Jew, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can fight with me. You can argue with me. I don't care, because I am a miserable human being. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for your love and support. And if you're listening all the way to the end, I love you even more, okay? Because I know that I'm long-winded. But really, thank you for your support. Please get vaccinated. If you aren't vaccinated, there's something wrong with you in your head. I love you. Be well. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.